a man's face.
Hey, what is going on, folks? Howdy, howdy, howdy. How do? Wow, looks like I just went live there. Okay, I'm alive across the board. Looks like over on Dark Waters and the Dark Waters channel with Paranormal Radio and the other various platforms that go live on Facebook and Twitter, and Chasing the Truth Shawn G over on YouTube. So what's going on, folks? Let's turn this old stinking thing in the background back. This is oldie but goodie, but I liked it. Holy cow. Another Wednesday has come upon us. And ho. Let's see who's in the chat over here. Looks like, yeah, YouTube is already caught up to that. I'm awake and aware. Corey Cole, Be Kind, Holly, Charlie. Let's see who else is in here. Rothian, buddy, what's going on? So, if you had seen me Saturday night, I did a thing on dreams, and I thought, well, heck, dreams are like harvesting. It's always growing from the perspective of everyone on this planet. And I just wanted to be, something I've been interested in for decades. I don't know if you guys dream, in the chat, ABC, everyone in there. If you have dreamed in the last week, top 1, 2, have not, 3, you never know when the last time you dreamed. So 1, you hadn't dreamed last week. 2, you hadn't. 3, you don't remember the last time you dreamed at all. Be kind, 1. There we go. So I can honestly tell you, since I started writing my books, Be Kind, Holly, Silent, all ones. Silent Rain, hey, you dream. Donnie Cho dreams almost every day. I dream 3. Sandra says no, hadn't dreamed in a long time. Don't remember the last time. When I started writing, my dreams went off the hook, and it's getting hard for me. I can remember years, probably about half a year ago, a little bit more, when I didn't dream hardly at all. So I actually had a dream where I woke up in and said, hey, I'm dreaming. Just was yesterday morning, actually. I'll go over that a little bit later. ABC says too. Good to see you guys. Please like and share this thing out if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Share it out to your socials. But I want to go ahead and get the prayer going here. And I've had to, every day I've prayed for friends and family, like I always do. But let's go ahead and say a quick prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, in our love and mercy, establish perimeter protection around all of us and all our loved ones, those who pray for us and their loved ones. May the holy angels around guard us and all our possessions, establishing a perimeter protection around us, rendering us immune from any kind of demonic influence. I ask that no demonic bondage, door, demonic entity, portal, astral projection, or disembodied spirit may enter the space of 100 yards in all directions of us. I ask that any demons within the vicinity or any that should try to enter here be rendered deaf, dumb, and blind, and thou would strip them of all weapons, armor, power, illusions, and authority, that thou would bind, rebuke, and disable them from communicating or interacting with each other in any way. Remove them, sending them directly to the foot of thy cross. Jesus, Son of the Most High, I ask this in thy glorious, most holy name. Father, please look after those folks I have prayed for today. Send your angels of mercy and healing and kindness to those folks. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. So there you go. That's the way to start a show, or in my opinion. But holy cow, let's get dreams. This is part two, if you're of a cheesy movie nut like I am. I like watching them. I don't care much for the actors to keep up with them, but I like cheesy movies. So, let's see. Let's go here and pull up something. Actually, I'm going to pull up a website I usually use quite a bit when I was working in sleep lab. When I went out and did a bunch of talks, share a screen. And yeah, I guess I did talk quite a bit professionally. I never did get a talking fee though. Well, I almost did, but I didn't. If you call me, they actually approached me to start teaching in college respiratory therapy, but that's a long ways back. Yukon Sam, hey buddy, what's going on? Vivid dreams, yes, Corey. I had a vivid dream yesterday, and I'll talk about it here in a little bit. But I wanted to go over like the history of dreams, and then kind of link it to my faith. If you guys have not heard me say this, I am definitely a Christian, without a doubt. And I honestly don't care if you believe I'm Christian or not. I don't care what your religion is. But if you want me to pray for you, no matter what your religion is, I will pray for you. All you have to do is send me word, message, or whatever. And I have on my community tab in my YouTube channel, a prayer chain. And I add to it as people ask. And then I say, hey, do you want to be a part of the prayer chain? Most of them says yes. I have not had anybody disagree with that yet. But if you want to be a part of that, just send me word either on Facebook or Twitter, or send me an email at ShawnG@IamDarkWaters.com, and we'll put you on there. But holy cow, good to see all of you. 25 people in here already. All right. So what are dreams and what they mean and psychology behind them? I can honestly tell you, which I told you Saturday night, if you were over on the Dark Waters radio channel. Medium dark roast coffee. What you guys drinking tonight? Hope it's not nothing too adult beverage wise, but you never know. Tomorrow might be a day off. Might be a day off. I drink too much coffee anyway, but anyway. Let's see. Charlie says, I've been praying multiple times a day, and my blessings have been abundant. That's a great thing. Rothians, Pepsi. Look at that. Pepsi. Dr. Pepper. My dad, I like Pepsi and I like Coke. My dad absolutely hated Pepsi. And I was like, Dad, why in the hell do you not like Coke or Pepsi? Tastes like Coke. No, it don't. Casual conversation, G&A. Hey, what's going on? Coffee time, ABC. Trina, good to see you. So, what are we going to be doing? Dreams. Some of the stuff that I got into sleep lab business, doing sleep studies. And respiratory therapy, went into it, and then I got into respiratory therapy. First got into, hey, you need to do a clinical in the sleep lab, and then I got to doing sleep study bug in my college days. And next thing I knew, I wound up doing sleep studies. It was probably maybe 10 years down the road in my career. But I started doing sleep studies. Then I wound up running the sleep lab and then become a director over a bunch of sleep labs. Meaning it got fun up until I started having to deal with the BS of politics. Dealing with people one-on-one is great, but politics wasn't so hot. But I got to go out and talk about sleep all the time. And dreams occasionally, but I guess I could probably put together 2 talks about dreams. So here we go. A dream is explained as a succession of sensations, emotions, ideas, images, and that occur involuntarily in a person's mind during certain sleep stages of sleep. It's not really understood what the purpose and content of dreams are, but they have certainly been the subject of religious and philosophical interest and the topic of scientific speculation throughout recorded history. Interestingly enough, the scientific study of dreams is known as oneirology. That's a $15 word right there. When does dreams occur? Which I kind of agree with this statement. The last statement I did on Saturday night, I didn't agree with whatsoever. It's during REM, rapid eye movement stage of sleep, that dreams mainly occur, which the mainly is sort of kind of okay, because this is when brain activity is so high and most resembles that of being awake. Not really. Rapid eye movement is not when it's awake. I can't. No. Mm-mm. Evidently, whoever wrote this was probably just put that in there. REM and being awake is two totally different things. What if you know what your EEG looks like versus wake and REM? Two separate, different beasts. Other than the magnification of the actual brain activity is pretty low in both REM and awake. Now, stage 2, 3, and 4, there's a dramatic difference, but then REM and wake, no, there ain't much like about that anyway. The power of prayer is amazing, Charlie says. H Dizzle, what's going on? So, reason I picked sleep as a discussion, or sleep, dreams, as a discussion topic, and open lines actually 931-994-6917. You're welcome to call in if you got anything to discuss about dreams, and talk about REM, which actually all stages of sleep from 1 to REM, which is 3 stages plus REM. Well, I guess you call it 4 stages, 5th stages, depending on what how you stage REM or stage sleep. But REM usually occurs within after about 90 minutes to about 2 hours in your first little bit of sleep. And then about 90 minutes there, or 2 hours after. And you get about 3 to 4 REM periods. First REM period is about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20. And then the second one's a bit longer. And then the third and fourth, the last one usually winds up being about an hour to 2 hours long. And typically you remember uh, remember more detail in REM. Rapid eye movement of sleep. So if you fall asleep and you start dreaming just like that, you may have just wound up and been so freaking tired that you jump into REM real quick. Yeah, it's not uncommon to do that, but yeah, there you go. Now the other stages of sleep are usually where the nightmares come into play. And great detail is not there when you wake up and you go, I remember being chased, or I remember, something sinister is about ready to happen to me. Monster dreams. I don't know about the fallen dreams, if that classifies a REM dream or not, but yeah, the monster kind of stuff is crazy kind of stuff. And I used to do occasionally sleep studies about people that had horrific dreams. And let's see, today's explanation of dreams. Today, mainly people see dreams as connection to the unconscious mind. There are varying natures of dreams, such as exciting, frightening, melancholic, magical, adventurous, and even sexual. And our dreams seem to range from normal to ordinary, right through to bizarre and completely surreal. With the exception of lucid dreaming, the events that occur in our dreams are normally outside the control of the dreamer. The dreamer is the self-aware dreaming, lucid dreaming. Sometimes dreams can implant a creative thought, thus giving the dreamer a sense of inspiration. Now, the history of dreams, going back about 5,000 years in the Mesopotamia, the earliest recorded dreams were documented on clay tablets in the Roman and Greek periods. People believe that the dreams were messages sent directly from one or more deities, from deceased people, and they were the predictions of the future. Then you had cultures that practiced dream incubation. Their intention would be cultivate dreams of prophecy. So this is where you get oracles and whatnot. jump into that. 1900, Sigmund Freud, which I read quite extensively on with sleep and other things. In college, you had to take a bunch of psych courses, what I used to do. But Freud was a believer in dreams, manifestation of deep anxieties and desires, often relating to repressed childhood obsession and or memories. In addition, it was his belief that almost every dream topic, irrespective of its content, represented the release of sexual tension, which, yeah, if I remember right, Freud was a horn dog when it comes to sexual content kind of stuff. Yeah, everything that he come up with, it's something about sex. But Freud's interpretation of dreams in 1899, holy cow, that's been a minute ago. He developed a psychological technique whereby dreams could be interpreted. He also devised a series of guidelines to help us understand motives and symbols. So, that being said, when's the last time anybody had a bizarre dream in chat? And then I'll start going over my bizarre dreams, which, if you've been following my daily community tab, I talk about writing my near-death experience, which by and large, for the last 130 days, I have been dreaming almost exclusively about my near-death experience or something containing near-death experience. Some of it's prophetic. About 30% of it's prophetic. But vivid dreams, waking up in the middle of a dream and saying, hey, now here's something. For those folks that can wake up in the middle of a dream, inside your dream, and think, hey, I'm in a dream. I'm in this bizarre environment. I'm not in Kansas anymore. How many people have done that? Wake up in the middle of a dream. And not physically wake up, still be in the dream and wake up inside the dream and realize you're in a dream. Freud was cocked up and surprises thought about sex all day. Well, there are some people that do that. That's for sure. You wouldn't have all these interesting triple X, quadruple X websites all over the place if that wasn't the thing. But anyway, ABC says I have. Holly says I have. My friend Julie, if she's listening now, she and I have, we talked about waking up in our dreams. And for the most part, it feels like, hey, I woke up in my dream. And to me, well, not this last day, yesterday when I woke up in the middle of my dream, but it feels like I broke the rules. I shouldn't be awake inside my dream. And then it got snatched out and say, hey, buddy, you have broke the rules. You're out. You can't do that. So, yeah. Hey, Rothian, do you do that? Definitely woke up in a dream and started dream walking. Yeah. All right. So, I have barely touched on my waking up in my dream yesterday on anything. Hey, Danielle. How you doing, sister? Good to see you. Good to see you. Have you ever woke up inside a nightmare? Yeah, actually, I have. Donnie, there was one actually after when I moved back into the house I'm at now, where I live now. I woke up inside a dream, a nightmare, and I was being chased by something. But the detail was so freaking vivid. And I remember getting inside of a building, office building of some sort, and it was dark. And this was right after I had my left leg removed, amputated, probably 4 or 5 months afterwards. And I said, wait a minute, I'm in a freaking dream, but I'm being chased. And I could feel the anxiety and the whole adrenaline rush. And then this thing looked like a zombie come after me. And this was the first time that I remember trying to kick with my phantom leg, and I woke up with a hell of a cramp. Hey, Blue Moon, Julie, what's going on? Julie's the one I was discussing about waking up in the dreams about. But yeah, I was trying to kick a zombie off of me about 5, 6 months after I woke up. And I woke up in that dream, and I woke up with this frickin' son of a gun Charlie horse cramp in my left stump. Oh my God, that was about a half hour of I got robbed. But there you go. So, folks, if you don't mind, Blue Moon Sense Julie and her husband Jeff. Jeff just got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. If you do not mind, if you are of the prayer ilk, please say a prayer for Julie and Jeff. They desperately need that. Every little bit of prayer helps with them. So, anyway, yeah, there you go, Donnie. I did wake up in a freaking nightmare, and then I kicked with my left stump with my phantom leg in my dream, and I woke up with a freaking Charlie horse. Holy cow, that was one way of doing some crazy stuff. Brian Cox, I keep somehow going into my wife's dreams. For real. I start talking about my dream, and she will flip and start filling out. Wait a minute. I got to reread this one. Hold on just a second. Brian Cox says, I keep somehow going into my wife's dream. Like for real, I'll start talking about my dream, and she will just flip and start filling in the same story as my dream, and somehow doing that. Well, I can honestly tell you, I have done that with some people, and I think one person that I could probably get away with saying, Julie and I have shared dreams to a certain extent. Not every freaking dream, but we've it's easy to translate. How's that? Yeah, I can see that. I can also see if you are actually twin flames or twin souls or whatever you want to call them. So there you go. But yeah, Freud was a horn dog. Another thing that I want to go over with, I got two major topics here. To go down to this dream thing, how important dreams are, and what dreams have affected us. And dreams, without doubt, has affected every freaking person on this planet in some shape, form, or fashion. In industry, in culture, reading books, film, you name it, music. I'm about ready to go over that. So hold on just a second. We'll get that stuff going on. And here we go. So, 10 dreams that changed human history. Of course, you got old Albert Einstein here. 10 remarkable dreams of scientists, writers, musicians, mathematicians, inventors who subsequently changed the course of human history. And you can go down the whole list, and there's quite a bit more than just these top 10. Those are just top 10, according to this author. Mary Shelley, world's first sci-fi novel, Frankenstein. Can you believe that? Frankenstein. If it wasn't for Mary Shelley dreaming about whatever was going on, you wouldn't have Frankenstein. Shelley visited Lord Byron by the Lake Geneva in Switzerland. They were locked in a cold volcanic winter caused by eruption of Mount Tambra the year prior, creating Europe's year without a summer. Stuck indoors holding a log fire, Byron suggested they each write a ghost story. But night after night, Shelley was unable to think of anything suitable. Then one evening, when all the discussion turned into nature of life, Shelley suggested perhaps a corpse could be reanimated. Backed by the thought, and Galvanism had given token of such things. Later in the night, after turning in, the imagination took hold and she experienced what she's described as vivid waking dreams. So there you go. Saw the pale student of unhallowed arts. Well, I wonder what's going on here. Oh, I got a big old frickin' thunderstorm coming. Thunderstorm warning. That was that little alert in the background if you heard that. But yeah, there you go. Severe thunderstorm warning, including my area. Look at that, buddy. Crazy. So yeah, there you go. If you did not, you couldn't have had all these crazy books if it wasn't for dreams. And Danielle. Blues, what's going on, brother? So there's one important topic. Have any of you that's in the chat had a dream that you wrote about it? Right here. I certainly have. I've written about it. Have you written songs? Blues and G. Have you dreamed about a song and wrote a song there, buddy? Trina, we're having a storm right now. Well, you're up in West Virginia. I just saw the map there. So, AJK, brother, what's going on? Paper Chaser. Oh yeah. Rothian says yes. I know some people that have not blogged. Well, I guess there's probably a few blogs. I guess I blogged some of my dreams and wrote about them and blogged about what I wrote about. So, but yeah, there you go. Has anybody written anything based off of what they dreamt about? Songs, sketched, painted? And Stimulate says, I've written songs in my dreams and woke up and forgot them. That sucks. Oh, man. Well, here's one thing. When I was doing sleep studies and ran sleep clinics and stuff. Oh, yeah. Hey, if you have not went over to Blues and G's music, go over there and follow him. Let me make sure I've got him followed. I'm pretty sure I have, but Blues and G's. Wait a minute. There he is. Let me make sure I've got him followed before I start saying, hey, y'all go follow him. Let me go over here and make sure I got him followed. And son of a gun. Oh, now I am your 61st or 60th followed. And let me pop him in there. Copy. If you haven't followed him, go over and follow him. Sorry about that, Blues. I thought I followed you already, brother. But there you go. Go over and follow him. Windy, this storm is lasting forever. Yeah, that's a big old sucker of a storm for sure. And it's on through midnight here. So the warning. So there you go. And then let's see. I wish I could remember. I usually forget the important details as soon as I wake up. Well, that was one of the things with clinics. You know, a lot of people will come in and generally when they're disturbing about dreams. Lucky number 60. No problem, buddy. Hey. Lucky number 60. My lucky number is 2244 or 2424 or some variation of 2424. And there you go. Done following. Fantastic. Uh-oh. I hear a little thunder going outside. So, heads up, folks. I might lose power. Just depends on how the storm tackles me. But just heads up. As soon as I find out if I lose power and I get it back and everything's kosher, I will come back if it happens and occurs during live stream here. Let's see. Used to be a professional proofreader if you ever need one. Julie just lost her internet. Oh, man. Bummer. So, yeah, definitely pray for Julie and Jeff. They're going to have a summer of chemo and surgery and chemo again. So, there you go. So there's a big thing. If if it wasn't for dreams, you wouldn't have Frankenstein or Young Frankenstein or anything, any simulation or variant of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I loved that movie, Young Frankenstein. That was fantastic. I love cheesy movies anyway. Next one, Paul McCartney, music that inspires music. 1965, Paul McCartney composed the entire melody for the hit acoustic song Yesterday in a Dream. It came back to him fully formed when he woke up, and he quickly replicated the song on his piano, asking his friends and family if they'd ever heard it before. He was initially worried that he was simply replicating someone else's work. And cryptomnesia, whatever, however you pronounce that damn word right there, whatever that is. For about a month, I went around to people in the music business and asked them whether they had heard it before. Eventually, it became like handing something into the police. I thought, if no one claimed it, after a few weeks, then I could have it. So there you go. Lennon and McCartney then wrote lyrics to the melody and the song and credited to Lennon and McCartney on their album, Help. So there you go. If you like the Beatles, there's another reason to buy dreams. So yeah, looks like Blues and G is talking about music. Hey, there you go. Professional proofreading. Well, I am still in the word vomit phase of writing, and I honestly don't know when I'm going to finish with the word vomit. What I wrote today, it was definitely word vomit. Without a doubt, it was word vomit. It was a little prophetic. It was a little weird, but I'll go over that after in a little bit. But the first hour, I wanted to talk about just the history and a little bit of why we dream and the importance of dreams. So, oh my God, this coffee is fantastic. But holy cow. So there you go. Niels Bohr, the structure of an atom. Oh my God, we're getting into science now, folks. Father of the quantum mechanics, Niels Bohr often spoke of inspirational dreams that led to his discovery of the structure of an atom. Now, I can honestly tell you from the perspective of what I saw in my near-death experience and what I have dreamed since I've been out of my near-death experience, especially the last 130 days, I guess, of writing this thing. And I can't remember out of that 130 days when I did not have a dream. No, I can't. I cannot remember a day without a dream in the last 130 days plus. But there you go. But yeah, son of academic parents, Bohr got his doctorate in 1911. That's been a hot minute. 111 years ago. Wow. And gained notoriety for deciphering complex problems in the world of physics and had left his colleges stumped. In time, he set upon understanding the structure of atom, but none of the configurations would fit. None of his configurations would fit. One night, he went to sleep and began dreaming about atoms. He saw the nucleus of the atom with electrons spinning around it, much as planets spin around the sun. Now, here's another thing. Actually, who did I tell this to? I think I told this to Julie, which she's not in chat. Her internet went out. I have told Julie about this, that God likes to copy and paste. At different intervals, space, planets around the sun, atoms, you name it. Copy and paste, and God likes to do that. Saw that in my near-death experience, saw that in my dreams. Well, holy cow. ABC, today is actually the 10-year. Wow. I'd love to hear more about your NDE there, ABC. Actually, I'm on my 6.5 year. Almost 7th. Coming up on my 7th year. That is amazing. 7th year since I had my ND. And yep, that's why the earth isn't flat. It's not God's signature. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. That's the reason why the earth is not flat. So anyway, due to dreams, we have the structure of the atom. And I think, from the microscope, the neutron microscopes, and all that kind of stuff, we certainly have proven that the structure of atom is round, global. Elias Howe, the eye of the needle, and he was the inventor of the sewing machine. He dreamt about the sewing machine. There you go, folks. Thank you for all that stuff. Charlie, Shawn, I was going to tell you that curiously, I remember that I had a near-death experience when I was about 9 years old that I've forgotten all about. Well, Charlie, I'd love to hear about it, brother. I am always in the mood to talk about near-death experiences, other people's near-death experiences. But, yeah, near-death experiences to me was interest to me before I had my own. I don't know if you hear that thunder over the microphone, but it's storming outside. Had an aneurysm at work one day, was dead, but asked to come back to take care of my son and was sent back. Well, ABC, you are one other person I have discussed besides myself, talked to or known about that actually said, hey, I want to go back, and gave reasons. Well, there you go. That's incredible. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. But Howe invented the sewing machine based on a famous dream that helped him understand the mechanical penetration of the needle. He was not the first to conceive the idea of sewing machine. However, Howe made significant refinements to design, was awarded the first U.S. patent for sewing machine using a lock-stitch design, according to the famous history records. There you go. And if you want to read this, you're more than welcome to read it. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. He jumped out of the bed, ran to his workshop, and by 9, a needle with an eye at the point had been rudely modeled. After that, it was easy. And that is the true story of an important incident in the invention of the sewing machine. So there's another. We're on 4, and we got like 6. 6 more to go. Albert Einstein, which here's where I get into, I can see where Albert Einstein can see this. I can honestly see, based on what I saw in my near-death experience and dreams, how he conceived of the speed of light. So there you go. Einstein is famous for his genius insights and nature of the universe, but what about his dreams? And there's a book called Einstein's Dreams, by Alan Lightman. Look that up. It should be a fascinating read. As it happens, he came to extraordinary scientific achievements, discovering the principles of relativity after having vivid dreams. And I honestly have had a crazy amount of vivid dreams. While growing up into my 20s, maybe early 30s, I had a series of vivid dreams that it was hard to distinguish what was real and what was not. I would wake up and think, did that happen or did that not happen? Well, Charlie, I would appreciate that. If you want, Shawn G at IamDarkWaters.com. You can send it to me anytime you want to. At IamDarkWaters.com. If you hear something in the background that sounds like static, that's actually rain hitting my window and air conditioner. So I can't help with that. Dark Woods, what's going on, brother? Danielle says dreams are a compass of the future and the past, which I honestly believe you're right there, without a doubt. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. We wouldn't want the YouTube gods to kind of frown on this thing, but who knows? I might have said the wrong thing and got into the gray zone of Maybe he's going to be hidden in the analytics. As a young man, Einstein dreamed that he was sledding down a steep mountainside, going so fast that eventually he approached the speed of light. get back to the stream here. And holy cow, am I back? Am I back? Let me check and see how this stuff is. Yep, I'm still broadcasting over on the Paranormal Radio app, I think. Give me just a second. Sorry about that, folks. And retrying. Actually, I'm not broadcasting yet over on the Paranormal Radio app. I'm on there. Hey, there we go. Paranormal Radio app. I'm back on there. I had power failure, but I'm back. Back over here. And let's see. You're back. What about my back? All right, folks. Well, where the hell did I start? Where the hell did I left off? All right. So let's go back here. Yeah. Julie, there you go. I believe you. Welcome back. Well, thank you. Hobbs, there you go. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? I think I was talking about Einstein and his theories based off of what the hell was going on with him. Yeah, right here we go. There we go. If you just popped in, I was going over 10 to top 10, according to this author. Top 10 dream-related breakthroughs, top 10 dream-related books, music, you name it, based off of dreams. So, how's that? Let's see. Love your background picture there. Oh, I appreciate it. Actually, when I was a young man in my 20s, I actually had quite a number of dreams about a wolf in a stream. Turns out that my great-grandmother's half Cherokee. So, I kind of harken that back to maybe some of old heritage there. So, there you go. So, how's the audio? Audio okay? One for the audio, one for audio and visual. Let's see what's going on here. Make sure everybody can hear me. I know that looks like Yep. Hopefully I won't pop off again. Audio is great. Awesome. Well, we'll carry on. Little dog, big heart. Thanks for sticking around. I apologize for that. For the folks that, at the end of this, what I'll do is I'll go back and edit out that little bit of stuff in YouTube. And hopefully it'll be all right. So, it'll be seamless. Instead of having to wait. How long was it going? About 10 minutes, give or take? So, there you go. Well, if this is the worst thing that I have to go through, other than audio popping and stuff, I think I got that back fixed. So, there you go. Top 10 reasons. We're at number 5 of why what has occurred in history based off somebody's dreams. Albert Einstein's speed of light was conceived in a dream. His while he was a young man. Einstein dreamed he was sledding. Spit that one out. Let me get a little bit of medium dark roast coffee in me, kind of wet my whistle and get that tongue unloosened. Yeah, there you go. As a young man, Einstein dreamed he was sledding down a steep mountainside, going so fast that eventually he approached the speed of light. As this moment, the stars in his dream changed their appearance in relation to him. He awoke and meditated on this idea, soon formulating what he would become one of the most famous scientific theories in the history of mankind. And of course, there's a book, Einstein's Dreams, written by Alan Lightman, is now a modern classic, a fictional collage of stories dreamed by Albert Einstein in 1905. So there you go. And Ramanujan, I guess, the man who knew infinity, another physicist, theory of numbers, mathematician, genius, made substantial contributions to analytical theory of numbers. elliptical functions, continued fractions, and infinite series, and proved more than 3,000 mathematical theorems in his lifetime. And Ramanujan stated that the insight of his work came to him in his dreams on many occasions. Now, saying that, based off of what I have studied over the past, let's see, I'm going to guess 20 plus years, being in the sleep lab business, being in sleep medicine, the subconscious dreaming mind releases all of the inhibitions of what rules we have here. Being able to fly in your dream, being able to walk through walls, being able to circumvent vast distances around the globe or in infinity, and you got to realize you're there and you're there. To quote an angel in my near-death experience. So, that being said, Ramanujan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm pretty bad at butchering names, and I apologize to anybody that might know how to pronounce that, or if anybody is related to this gentleman. I apologize if I butchered that name. I'm pretty sure I did. While asleep, I had an unusual experience. There was a red screen formed by flowing blood. That's weird. There was a red screen formed by flowing blood, as it were. I was observing it. Suddenly, a hand began to write on the screen. I became all attention. I think this is probably translated from English, something to another English or whatever. I don't know what the hell that is. That hand wrote a number of results in elliptical integrals. They stuck to my mind. As soon as I woke up, I committed them to writing. If I could read, I would be a doctor by now, but I'm not. So there you go. Robert Louis Stevenson, A Fine Bogey Tale. Oh, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There's another author. Look at that. Dreams for that. And it looks like we're about at the top of the hour. So if you have not went over to IamDarkWaters.com, go over there and subscribe today. And also go over to Blues and G's, AJK, Be Kind, Dark Woods channel. Let's see who else is in here's got a channel. Hobbs has got a channel. Hold on a second, buddy. Let me get you something here. I'm glad you as a moderator there, Hobbs. Thank you for dropping in there, buddy. Rothian, Sue, all you fine folks in there. If you are a content creator, please feel free to drop your links in the chat. And everybody that's joining in, please follow those folks as they drop their links. Because I believe in, kind of spreading the love around a little bit. So, sick man for most of his life, Robert Louis Stevenson. He wrote mainly to support his family until it came to the inception of Jekyll and Hyde. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. Anytime. So, another dream or another book. Shelley wrote Frankenstein based off of a dream, a waking dream. And then we'll go into a lot of the Bible talks about dreams and supernatural. And if you believe that the Bible is not supernatural, holy cow, I feel sorry for you. But there you go. That's another discussion to be had at a later date. For 2 days, I went about racking my brains for a plot of any sort. And on the second night, I dreamed the scene at the window. And the scene afterwards split into, in which Hyde pursued for some crime, took the powder, and underwent a change in the presence of his pursuers. So there you go. Dream nightmares, and Donnie Cho actually asked me earlier if I had one of those dreams where I woke up in a dream inside a nightmare, and yes, I did. It took me just a second. Yeah, I had. Has anybody had a nightmare and they woke up in the nightmare and realized they're in a nightmare? Anybody? One in the chat if you have. Love to hear from you. 931-994-6917. If you got any kind of question, comment, story about your dreams, which, hell, everybody's had a dream just about. I've only had a handful of patients in my long history that said that I've never dreamed at all. Or it's been decades since they dreamed. I don't have much. 111 H Dizzle. There you go. No waking inside of a nightmare, be kind. Well, I have woke up inside of a nightmare and been able to manipulate said dream just a little bit, but I was already in a fight and flight status inside that dream. The Lakea show. Lakea, drop your link in your for your show in the chat there, ma'am, if you don't mind. Follow her. She's got some great content. She does sort of like I would say fireside chat ish type deals, and I enjoy her content quite a bit. So I joined her live stream early. Used to have. Hold on a second. Let me get this back up here. Stop screen. There we go. Charlie used to have dreams about dinosaurs chasing me. And every time I would get a chance to rest, it would be right on top of me again. So I never had a chance to stop and rest. And sleep paralysis, I thought I woke up. Sure didn't know more sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is just freaking weird as hell. It's not as uncommon as people think, but I've had it, and I think I've had it maybe 4 or 5 times. Last time I had it was probably I was in my mid to late 20s. And the last sleep paralysis that I had, my late brother Travis, oh my sweet Jesus. Here's I always talk about my brother in great light, but for whatever reason, I had a dream, a very vivid dream of my brother and I fighting. And I'm the older of the 3 kids in my family, but my brother is probably about 2 inches taller than me. So he's 6'5" and I'm like 6'3". So he's on top of me, and I wake up and he's still on top of me in my freaking living room where I fell asleep on the couch after I worked that night in sleep lab of all things. Yeah, Mr. Wilson, sleep paralysis is a scary thing. And I woke up and I was paralyzed, but I could still see my brother on top of me, and I couldn't move. It took probably a good 15 seconds, maybe 20 plus, give or take. And I kind of got out of it. And I'll be damned if I didn't fall back asleep, have the same freaking dream fighting my brother for whatever. I can't even remember why I was fighting my brother. Woke up, and there I had sleep paralysis again. There for about 2, maybe 3 weeks, I had that on and off. A whole series of sleep paralysis just drove me nuts. And I, had studied sleep up to that point and actually did sleep studies. So I knew exactly what I was going through. Had spoke with people quite a bit. Julie, what's going on? You're not late. You're just right on time. Never late. You just got on time just right as you needed to be here. So wonder what triggers that. It just depends. It depends. It could be a harbinger for dementia. It could be it could be almost anything. What you ate, what kind of drugs you're on, taking, medication, you name it. Some sort of stress in your life. It's like triggers for sleepwalking. You never know what happened and what got you. Julie, I appreciate that. I'm not that amazing. I'm just a dude that had a lot of interesting dreams and interesting experiences that led me to do this thing. So, but I appreciate that. Mr. Wilson says, I had it for years. Last time I woke up but couldn't move and saw a guy at the end of my bed. Well, a lot of ghost stories start out exactly like that, buddy. Oh, okay. Well, why not? Here we go. I hadn't thought about that, but appreciate you reminding me. There's a StreamYard link. So there you go. Going to pop in to say, hey, howdy. If you've got, if you're in the chat over there on the Chasing Through Shawn G, which on the other platforms on YouTube, you've got the link. And if you're over on Facebook or over on, you might be able to see it on Facebook too. Grab that StreamYard and get in here. And over on my Twitter account. So I appreciate that, Julie. I'm about as amazing as an old stale piece of bread that's been laying on top of a countertop for about 4 days. That's about as amazing as I can be. Sometimes I have most horrendous nightmares, the ones where I thought I have woken up several times and cannot breathe. Pretty horrible. Would you believe I actually have had that happen to myself? And I've done several thousand sleep studies, read a few thousand, done several thousand over my career. And you would not believe how common that is, Hobbs. Definitely. Crystal, love your background. Well, I actually got that off of, where the hell did I get that off of? Hold on just a second. I'll tell you exactly where I got that off of. Pixabay.com, all the free images and stuff that you see that I do, my show posters and stuff, I usually get a lot of that content, visual content off of that website. So there you go. But if you want to grab that link and come on in if you've got an interesting thing to talk about. Or you can call 931-994-6917, and Donnie is in the chat. Hey, Donnie, what's going on?
Hey, Shawn. How's it going?
I was chatting about dreams. I figured that was one of those unharvested fields that we needed to do.
Yeah, I got a bunch of dream stories, actually. It's been a while since I've been up here. I'm just realizing.
Oh, really? I just literally saw you just a few days ago on the stream, I think. Didn't I?
No, you saw me on Cisco's.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the concept of lucid nightmares. So when I was a kid, growing up, for probably until about like 11 years old, I was getting nightmares like pretty much every day, like night terrors, like jumping out of bed, sweaty, unable to go back to sleep because you're just so full of adrenaline,
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get it all the time to the point where it was like affecting my grades and like my day-to-day life. And then I guess as I got older, they kind of slowed down, but they occasionally would still happen. But I remember one day I think I was like 15 or 16. Again, it was a scenario of like this really bad nightmare. And in this scenario, well, the nightmares are usually different. But generally it's being chased or being attacked by a thing, right? A lot of times it's the hag, and a lot of times it's like some kind of demon or some like thing you don't even want to look at because it's so grotesque and so disturbing that you just want to like look away.
Right.
Those were my dreams. And so when I was in high school, I remember one day it was a scenario. I was being chased by a hag, but this time, just out of the blue, I heard the theme song to the X-Men cartoon series, as if someone just hooked up the speakers. Right?
I vaguely remember that, but I remember the cartoon series.
It was like 1990s, like, well, when I heard that, like, I kind of I stopped in the middle of my nightmare, and the hag, I remember, kind of like looked around, like all confused, like, where's that music coming from? I remember the look on the hag's face, because immediately I started getting confused. I was like, wait a minute, this thing was chasing me just now. Why is this thing looking all confused? When I heard that music, it kind of jarred this flashback memory I had of childhood, where basically I was like 10 years old and my brother and I would be like charging through the door because we knew X-Men was on. We'd be like throwing off our backpacks and because all we thought about all day was like, oh man, X-Men's going to be coming on, right? It was like linked to an actual childhood memory. And we would do this like, every time the show was on. So that flashback immediately hit me. I look over at that hag, and then this is going to sound real silly, but at this point, I started getting lucid. And I understood that because I'm in a lucid dream, like I woke up in the dream, like that flashback woke me up, and I'm like, I can do whatever the hell I want. Right. So just out of the blue, like Wolverine comes out, not the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, not the comic book Wolverine. Like it looked like the actual, like it was drawn in the cartoon series, and it like swiped at her arm. And I remember the look on the hag's face. It like grabbed her arm, and it was like howling in pain. And it was like looking around, like what the hell is going on? And then it actually fights back. And I remember feeling it as it was fighting back. I could feel like the fear growing back in me, right? Until like it finally catches Wolverine and kills him. And then I'm almost at that point where I'm like feeling afraid again. Out of the blue, the rest of the X-Men come out and they just piece her up. And then I woke up feeling like, wow, that was actually really fun. So since that point, every time I got nightmares, like something in me, it would just like snap awake, and I'd just be like, I would call upon like a fond childhood memory, and that fond childhood memory was what helped me like navigate my way out of that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when did you notice anything about time compression or time extension or anything like that while you
Nothing
were
like that.
in the? Okay.
Nothing like that. No, it was just imagery. And I know this was probably just all in my head and it was just some silly schoolboy fantasy or whatever. But I do remember, like, since that point, I would, if I ever experienced a nightmare, I would reach a certain level of fear until it snapped, and I'd be like, "Oh crap, I'm in a nightmare." And then all of a sudden, I'd just call down like whatever superhero or whatever video game character or whatever video game I was playing that week or whatever.
So you called down the avatar of it, or you became that character?
It was like I became that character.
Okay.
But then after a while, as I got older, I realized I don't even need to become anything. I could just do it myself. But yeah, so it was weird. Yeah, I do have lucid nightmares. And I remember actually being like, oh, this is a nightmare. Okay, it's my turn now. I remember a couple years ago, I had a dream where this is when I was like living in North Carolina. I had a dream where I was just like walking past this room, and there was this disturbing image of like this like evil, sadistic looking clown like Pennywise from It, and had this knife, and it was just hacking away at all these people, and there was like blood and gore everywhere. And I remember I looked over at it, and and immediately realized what was going on because I was so used to it, right? I mean, I've had it happen so many times. And then it looked at me, and I was like, well, I mean, are we gonna have a problem here? And it just like looked back at me and just kind of shook its head. And I was like, okay, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And I remember thinking about like, man, I wonder what I want to have for breakfast. Like I was just like thinking about my breakfast before I even woke up from
during all this hack them up and
yeah,
whatever.
because I was like,
content
are
that
we
you were
gonna have a
saying.
problem here? Because it knew that I was lucid. Like I knew I was lucid. It knew that I knew. So I was like, we're gonna have a problem here, and it just shook its head. And I was like, okay, just carry on then.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
It sounds silly, I know. That's
So
why I say
you had full control over your dream. Could you change the environment or just
only if I
summon
am
sudden?
aware that I'm in a dream. Because if I'm not aware, then I am, I am at its whim. It's only when I snap awake. Doesn't happen every time though.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So when's the last time you had a lucid nightmare or a lucid dream of any type?
It's been a while. The last legitimate nightmare where I didn't wake up was at Hoover House, where I wasn't lucid. It was just like a torture session. That was when I was sleeping at Hoover House.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Did the environment cause that? Did you have the environment around you in your dream content?
Um,
Or
I think it may have been something to do with like the events that happened. Because I mean, you caught that show, right? With me and Dylan and Laura, we all went over to the Hoover House. For those of you that don't know, we a couple weekends ago we stayed at this really haunted place near Gettysburg, and yeah, I had a real bad nightmare, like the worst I had in like years, and I did not go lucid. It was just a nightmare.
oh wow,
But yeah, um, and it wasn't because it was the terror, because usually there's a certain level of terror when I awake. This one was more like dread. It was like a
dread.
long, drawn out like dread session. So that's why I didn't like wake up.
Hmm.
It's like a specific amount of terror. It's like the kind of terror that induces adrenaline, and I feel like that adrenaline is what makes me go lucid.
Yeah, possibly. I haven't really sunk into what actually triggers the lucidity of a dream. Waking up in the middle of a dream.
Yeah.
That sounds like it. Personally, my trigger is realizing I've got a freaking two legs, and I wake up and go, "Oh, well, yeah, all right." So I'm in a dream. Let's see what happens.
Mm.
And usually, my dreams are, if I'm in an NDE type dream, I wake up and I stay in there, and it's like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be here, and I'm supposed to be awake in the dream. So I interact in that manner, which the content really doesn't change, and I can't really change the content because I'm usually talking to angels or the like, some sort of celestial being or something
So
like
it's like
that.
you don't want to change the content.
I'm there to learn or relearn or remember whatever it is that these angels are there for. So I think it's me contacting or being contacted by angels.
Do you feel like you're more cognizant or aware in terms of like I remember I had a dream kind of like that where it was unique in that I could remember individual thoughts and like thinking about what I was going to say before I had actually said something, like making little micro decisions. Like I was aware of that and I remember that. That's why that dream felt very different for me. I was wondering if
Hmm.
you were experiencing something along those lines.
Once I get to that point where I'm actually aware that I'm in a dream and I'm actually conversing with
Mhm.
another angel or demon or whatever, it's sort of like automatic, thought transfer. Boom, it's there. It's not like yip, yip, yip,
There's no
auditory
like
stuff.
there's no like hesitation or like thinking about what you're
No,
gonna say.
no, nope. A lot of confidence. I wake up and I'm like, wow, I'm fairly confident during my waking hours, but I'm like freaking, Batman in confidence,
Yeah.
that kind of level. But yeah, the strange thing is time for me in those near death experience dreams. Time kind of spreads out. It elongates. It's like I can spend an hour in there, and it's days. I remember having like 2 days worth of. I had a conversation with three angels, and to me, it was like a couple of days, 3 days of just yesing with them. Wake up and they're like, oh, I was only asleep about an hour.
Yeah, I've had those where it's like a power nap, but then you feel like you've had like a 3 day dream and then you wake up all disoriented and not knowing like when and where you are.
Well, I knew where I was. That's the strange thing is waking up in your dream and you're still in the bed where you're sleeping.
Hmm.
You're kind of like, oh. And the only way I recognized that, which I hadn't had this in a while, was again, my left leg was there with me. And I was like, oh, I'm in a dream. Let's see what happens. And I've told the story about my grandfather popping into the house here where I live now. And I've had some paranormal activity that I liken to or kind of connected to a next door neighbor that had passed away. And I walked into the kitchen. Once I figured out, yeah, I'm in a dream. Let's go find out what's going on in here. There's my grandfather standing at the back door. And I said, hey, Papa, what are you doing? I said, well, I come to take Homer home. Homer was the name of the the guy that passed away. I said, "Oh, okay. Well, he's been hanging around. I was kind of wondering what's going on with him." And he just smiled at me, turned around, grabbed a hold of the back door to the kitchen. Then he turned back around, smiled, and said, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" Well, I was like, "Well, why not? I know it's a dream." Walked outside on the porch, and there's the old LTD black Ford that he used to drive when I was a little kid. I don't know why in the hell he liked black cars so much, but I guess that's probably the reason why I like black cars so well. But my grandmother had passed away maybe about 3-4 months before that. She was in the passenger seat. And my sister, Robin, was out in the yard too. And she looked like she was lucid in her dream as well. But I actually talked to her about 3 or 4 months later. And I said, "Hey, had this dream and you were in it." And Papa and Mama was in the dream as well. I told her, made her cry. And then she kind of said, "No, I didn't have that dream, but that was fantastic." And we jumped in the back of the car with Papa at the in the driver's seat. And my sister looks at me and says, "Is it okay if he's driving?" I said, "Sis, this is a dream. It doesn't matter. We'll be all right." Big deal. I remember every inch of that freaking dream. Every inch of the travel. We went to his or their church. And they both jump out, and my sister said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, you follow Mama, and I'll follow Papa." And Robin took off after my grandmother, and they went in the back door to the meeting hall, back where the kitchens were in the church. And as soon as I walked through the door to follow my grandfather, is like opening up into a big cathedral, like walking in New York City. Pick a cathedral that you've ever been in. It's like walking into that, a little bit, maybe fit 100 people in a church open it up in this big cathedral inside. My grandfather's like 5'2", jumping through this big crowd of people. And I said, "Well, I guess I'll go find him." I ran through the crowd and finally find him. He grabs a hold of my hand and starts dancing with me. And he's all happy and go lucky and all kinds of interesting stuff. And then he stops and he points at his shoes, and he was one of these fellows that has several pairs of shoes for different activities. He had his kick arounds, and he had his church shoes or his dress shoes or whatever, and he had his church shoes on. And he pointed at his shoes, and this big brown spot started getting really dark on the shoe, and then it kind of crept up his leg and then kind of engulfed him. And he looked up at me, and I said, "Oh, you got to go, don't you?" He said, "Yeah, I'll see you soon." And then kind of disappeared, and everything around me disappeared except for the cathedral. And I looked around. I said, "Well, this must be his heaven." And then I woke up in the bed where I started the whole dream out. And for about 2 or 3 days, this house felt like it was, first time you open up your doors in the spring after a long, hard winter and let the air, exchange. That's the way this house felt for about 3 days. It was fantastic. I loved that dream. I love to have another dream exactly like that. So,
it's like,
I've had extraordinary dream life to the point where I wondered if I was living 2 separate lives. One here, working as a respiratory / sleep tech / director of sleep labs. And the other was living in an 1800s. So later in mid-30s, that kind of stopped where I would have one of those interesting dreams about once every 2 or 3 months, and then got to once every 6 months. And then about 3 months before I had my near-death experience, it all stopped. I haven't had one of those dreams since. So there you go.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
so, anyway, before I head out, let me just tell one quick, not my story, but my friend's story. He had a real interesting story that he told me real quick. This guy is a skeptic, by the way. He and I were like college buddies, and one day we started talking about the paranormal. And he's one of those people who's like, "I'm skeptical, but I did have this one experience." And then he told me that he would have this regular dream. This guy's married, by the way, but he would have this regular dream with this random woman. Nothing romantic or sexual, but it was just like this random woman that was always there in his dream. And he was telling me about this. He's just like, I just saw this random woman. She looked about my age, always showing up in my dream. And I was like, were you guys like doing anything like? And he was like, no, not like that. I love my wife. She was just there. One day he's at the movie theater with his wife, and they're getting seated. And you know how like when you're in the middle part of the row, you kind of have to scooch past everyone if you're late, right? So he's scooching past people getting to his seat, and he passes by that girl. He was like, Donnie, that was the girl in my dream. And he looked at her, and I asked him, like, so what happened? He was like, I looked at her, and she looked at me back, and she looked white as a ghost. Her jaw dropped when she saw him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting dream.
This guy was a skeptic.
Actually, I met a lady I dreamed about for my entire life. Her name's Shawn. Yeah, no, she actually had a dream of me too. That's a strange thing. Before we even met. Absolutely. Her name's Shawn, and yeah, there you go. That's the crazy thing. I dreamt about her, and I can remember climbing up the mountains, and as a young teenager, after having this freaking dream about her and feeling her like she was standing right next to me, like, man, where the hell are you? And I'd scream out, where the hell are you? And hear my voice echo in a holler there. Didn't meet her until probably mid-20s, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, wow. And for reasons, we never did get together. And I finally caught back up with her in the last few months, actually, because I wrote about this near-death experience. And I said, I wonder if she's still out there. So I tagged her, or not tagged her. I reached out to her. Took about 10 minutes to find her. And then, yeah, there you go. I actually talked to her yesterday for about a minute.
Well,
so
you're a lucky man, Shawn, because there's plenty of people I've dreamt about in my dreams that I'm pretty sure I'm never going to meet in this lifetime. So it is a privilege to meet one of those people.
Oh, yeah, it is a privilege. And I've actually met several people like that, actually. There you go.
Yeah.
Not to anybody that I want to have a relationship with, but
no, not like that. Just But anyway, yeah, I'll let you go. I'll let someone else have the platform. But thank you for your time.
I appreciate you being on here, Donnie.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thanks, man.
Later.
All right, Donnie Cho. Definitely follow him. Go over to Cisco's channel if Donnie's still in there. Hey, Jean Paul, what's going on? Ray, hadn't seen you in a hot minute. What's going on with you? But yeah, have you ever dreamt of a person once, twice, multiple times, wind up meeting this person? Yeah, Donnie, drop Cisco's link there. But my near-death experience, well, hell, if you're new to the channel, which I doubt you are, looks like I have about 38 people in here. And over on Facebook or Twitter, whichever way you've seen this thing, my near-death experience, I argued about 8 people in my near-death experience, and to come back and help them. Can you fly in your lucid dreams, Mr. Wilson says. Let's see. AJK said, what? Shawn and Shauna. That is crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. But Shauna is definitely a real person. Definitely a real person. But there you go. And she's not imaginary whatsoever. She's been in the chat a few times, but she's been stupid, crazy, working, busy. So there you go. Cisco's channel, Be Kind. Thank you, Be Kind, for dropping that there. You are super, super duper right there. Anyway, so anybody had a dream about a person and then wind up meeting that person at a later date or next date, or have a prophetic dream. I knew a guy. I did not meet this guy. His name was Bobby. I dated a girl by the name of Kim and Kimberly Ann, actually. Back when I was like 19, 20, 20 years old, something like that. And she went along with her sister to this guy named Bobby, and he's supposed to have been a redhead, curly haired guy. He was one of these dream prophets. And his thing was he would dream about people that he would meet the next day. So I think I've mentioned this maybe once before in the last couple of months, give or take. But since it's dream, why not? This is perfect reason to talk about it. He dreamt. There you go. Dreamt about the people he would meet the next day. And what he would do was he had this thing, which the piece of paper that I'm about ready to talk to you about was on notebook paper. Same thing you would take to school with. But he'd write in crayon. Why crayon? I don't know. But crayon. And then he'd seal it in an envelope. He'd wake up the next morning and, whatever he dreamt about, he would write it down and then seal up an envelope and then give it to the person the next day. Apparently, he got kind of lucrative about this. Or not lucrative. He developed a, how should I say? Well, he made some money out of it. How's that? So, one day I was over at Kim's house, and she got kind of mad at me. I said, "What you got mad at?" She said, "Yeah, you remember I told you I was going to go see Bobby, that dream prophet." And I said, "Yeah, that happened already?" "Yeah." And I said, "All right." So I went there, and I forgot how much money she paid, like 40 or $50, something like that, maybe $50. So what about me? It was about you. And I was like, how the hell are you talking about? It was about me. And she gave me like a 5-second version of what I read and said, this person, which, we broke up about maybe 6 months afterwards. So it would be your love of your life. And after that, I don't know what it said, but it described me to a T. 6'2", 6'3", blonde hair, kind of deal. But I read the writing and I was like, well, it does sound like me. There you go. Dream prophet. Have you ever heard of a dream prophet before besides some of the dream prophets, the famous Edgar Casey, that kind of deal? But for the folks that are just joining in, or if you made it this far, thanks for staying around while I had a little bit of a problem with my electricity. A storm blew through and knocked out my electricity for a little bit. AJK says, I always dream I need to pee and wake up and have to pee. Mr. Hugh, stay safe, buddy. Appreciate you. There you go. Hobbs says, I remember having a dream about lots of lights. Years later, I took shrooms and went to Didsbury in the UK. There was over 100 traffic lights in a massive junction. So was that the lights that you saw in your dream? That'd be interesting. Let's see. Let me drop this again. If you want to pop in, hit that StreamYard link I just popped into the chat there. More than welcome. Get going. If you know you're dreaming, isn't that lucid dreaming? Yeah, that's lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming. Yes, it is. I just had just one. Well, okay. Let's talk about the lucid dream that I had yesterday. So, for the last 130 days, give or take, I have been writing about my near-death experience. Oh, I had another, nightly near-death experience. Dream. Primal Cry. Don't use the bathroom in your dreams. It's a trap. Yeah, there you go. Don't use the bathroom in your dreams. I've had to wake up and hop, skip, and jump real quick to go empty my bladder kind of stuff. But there you go. And let's see. Ray says, that's the wondering I was always getting confused about lucid dreaming. People tell me at all times I've never remembered what it means. Lucid dreaming is waking up in your dreams. Now you have vivid dreams where it's like you lived it. Technicolor kind of stuff. Some people dream in black and white. Some people dream in color. I dream in color, without a doubt. So yesterday I've kind of dropped hints and I had a lucid dream yesterday. So I fall asleep and I'm on my, more or less my right side, but almost on my belly kind of deal, laying in bed. And I wake up underneath a willow tree. Now, if there's a dream or if there's a tree in my dream, it's usually a willow tree for whatever freaking reason. Actually, I know. But the reason is it's a common element in a lot of my dreams. Very common. But I'm underneath this willow tree in this field, which I've had several dreams about this field over the course of my 52 years being doing this living thing this time around. And on my right arm, I'm looking at this weird bug right here. No, it's right here. Right here. And it had this strange looking projection out of it where you would see pincers. But it sort of looked like a shovel, and it was just going beep, 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 and it didn't hurt or anything like that. Yeah, Hobbs says, yes, it was with a guy that I thought was Captain Scarlet. His name was Adrian. I had this dream was about 11. That's interesting there, buddy. Appreciate that. So anyway, sitting there, trying to poke me like it wanted to bite me or whatever. And then I got up and went, beep, knocked it off my arm, stood up, and I was like, wait a minute. I've got a leg, got two legs. So I was like, hey, I'm in a dream. I wake up in a dream. I'm standing before what was or is or was willow tree. And if you've heard me talk about my dreams, I've also, or near-death experience, I've talked about an opal. And the shimmering, opal-esque kind of shimmer started to take place over this willow tree. So I was like, all right, so I'm in a dream. This willow tree I'm looking up at starts shimmering like an opal. Opal-esque, sort of like you would see a pearl coat on a car, and as you're moving, varying degrees around the car, you could see, the rainbow inside of it. It was sort of like that, but kind of swirling in a pattern like you would see, say, a spiral galaxy. But you can still see the individual, leaves, limbs, long, lanky limbs of the tree. So I look at this thing, and then I start hearing singing, harmonic singing. Aaron, hey, buddy, appreciate that. In this dream, while I'm lucid dreaming, and then I see 3 opals appear around this big ass tree, willow tree, that's glowing like an opal, shimmering like an opal. And then out steps 3 angels, which I know, and I'm not going to name the angels now. I'll name them in the book. This part I have not written about yet. Sort of kind of touched on it earlier today, but not so much. So you're hearing about it before I actually write about it. So Anyway, they're singing to God, and you can feel the intent behind the singing, giving thanks to God that they're there, that they exist, that they have the ability to sing because God made them. And they invite me to walk to the tree and touch the tree, and then I get sucked in, and then a few days pass of time to me. But that being said, now dreaming, personally, a lot of the prophets in the Bible had dreams, and there's a lot of passages in the Bible about dreaming. Hold on just a second, I'll pull up one here. What does the Bible say about dreaming? Oh, let's go. Take a look. See at a few of them. I got 100 passages that kind of jump into dreaming in the Bible. Does that pop up? Yeah, there you go. So this is off. Oh, where the hell is this? Openbible.info /topics/dreams. And there's 100 plus. But you can go into it and find out that, hey, the Bible does talk about dreams. The Bible is without a doubt supernatural. Everything in that book is supernatural. So if you think that anything that's not Christian has the cornerstone on supernatural, you're wrong. Bible is without doubt a book of supernatural. But Darlene, thank you for the tip. I appreciate that, Darlene. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate that PayPal tip. Fantastic. It says Acts 2, verse 17. In the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So, the reason I'm writing, the reason I'm dreaming is based off of, now I'm not trying to link my dreams and dreaming and my thing to the Bible itself. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just giving you, for instance, why dreams are so important to us as a civilization. And I gave you several reasons, books, mathematicians, physicists that went through and had dreams, and bada boom, bada bing, we had all these fine examples of art and mathematics and physicists, and if you name it. So the Bible is full of dreams. But let's see. Hold on just a second. Let's go back here and see what's going on in here. Dreams are absolutely crazy. My partner cannot cope with me thrashing about anymore. This first channel I have shared this of me. Separate beds now. Well, I have done several sleep studies on folks that do that, Hobbs. It's called head banging syndrome. I know it's kind of a weird name, but it's like a catch-all. Head banging syndrome. And if you can find a medical reason behind it, you probably need to do it. You probably can find something. Who knows? I have seen some drug therapy help those kinds of folks, but you might want to go talk to a doctor about that. So, let's see who else is in here. Ray says, so much information, knowledge, and wisdom in your dreams, Shawn, for sure. That's unique. Not just everybody gets that and thinks it's spiritual. Maybe even a gift to those that get messages in the dream. Well, I'm not going to say my dreams are biblical. No, I'm not going to say that at all. But I do dream of angels and demons and a whole lot of stuff that could be of the future, which I've written several things about the future that I remember from my near-death experience. But Hey, that's not the dream. Well, actually, I did dream some stuff about the future last week. But there you go. But I wanted to talk about dreams tonight, and I probably will do another show about dreams. How do you like the dream content so far in these two shows for the folks that are in the chat? Would you like to have a part 3 later on down the road, or what do you want to do about this? Do you want me to do something more about it, or what have you? Put a 1 in the chat if you like the content, like to see it. 2 if you're it's cool but you're over it, or 3 I don't like the content whatsoever. So far so good. So great. Donnie says. And let's go back here. More dream show, please. Be kind, says. Oh. And let's see. Let's go down the whole. I'm not going to go down to 100 plus Bible verses, but Ecclesiastes 5:7. For when dreams increase and words grow many, there is a vanity. But God is in one you must fear. All right, there you go. And then Joel 2, verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons, your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And I look at this, especially when here's the thing that I have a lot of trouble talking about, which why not? I have a lot of trouble talking about the stuff I see in the future. Because, once I write about the stuff I see in the future, but once I'm done with it, I look at it like, did I just do that? Did I come up with it from a perspective of, did I just let my imagination run wild and write this stuff? But I actually see it in my near-death experience. And then there was a couple of times that I was actually sitting on my back porch writing about probably last month. And I swear to God, I was sitting on my back porch 1 second, and the next second I was standing in a desert watching the wind blow and being stung by sand. On my back porch, I was wide awake. I didn't fall asleep. I was wide awake. Sky was blood red. But there you go. Anyway, that being said, there are over 100 plus verses, like 1 John 4:1. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out in the world. Absolutely, without a doubt. In Daniel 4:5, I saw a dream that made me afraid. As I lie in bed, and the fancies and the visions of my head alarmed me. And I can kind of concur with Daniel there. Everything that I have seen in my dreams and have alarmed me, even when I talk about some of the demon stuff that I have wrote about. I kind of touched on what I have wrote about demons in my daily community post on my YouTube channel. But a whole lot of it I have not touched on whatsoever in that post, but I have written about it. Now, a lot of them, like, I don't know. I have written quite a bit. Luke 10:19. Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you. Absolutely. And that actually works. I have been before demons in my dream, and just a mere mention of God or Jesus sends them trembling. The only one that I have met in my dream that's demon, Lucifer, doesn't like it. The name, but shuts the hell up when I say it. So, Ecclesiastes 5:3, for a dream comes with much business and fools' voices with many words. That's interesting. Which a lot of my dreams I have shook me to my core. Now I wake up and I'm like, why in the hell did I dream about that? So if you see me write in my daily posts over on my YouTube and my community tab, and I start out, I had a dream. I have thought about that dream quite a bit during that day. I mean, sometimes it just consumes the living snot out of me. But I've thought about it and wondered and prayed about that dream. Wondering, should I write about it? Some dreams I do not write about. Honestly, I have not. And the reason I do not is before I start writing, I will start praying, and first thing comes out of my mouth, please God, allow me in your presence. Help me to write what do I need to write about. And I've had several occasions where I think I know what I want to write about. The dream I had the night before, or a near-death experience that I remembered. And as soon as I open up and start writing about, I'll start writing about something totally different. So there you go. But dreams tonight, what we're talking about, dreams, which we got about 11 more minutes in the show. Job 33:15, and dream in a vision of night when deep sleep falls on men while they slumber in their beds. But you can go look down here. Judges, Job, Jeremiah, Revelation 1:1, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show to his servants the things that must soon take place. He made it known by sending his angel to his servant John. But you can go down through here. This is over 100. There's 100 plus easy in the Bible about dreaming prophets, dreaming. Confession is of dreams. But you can go down here. I'll just pick out something random. Job 7:14. Then you scared me with dreams and terrified me with visions. Which I honestly have been scared the living crap out of. So yeah, there you go. So anyway, there you go. Just wanted to touch up on it. And let's get out of here. Touch upon dreams, why we dream to a certain extent. I know science, medical science, jumps on board and says, hey, this is why we dream. Marie, Shawn knows my Jesus Christ dream. Oh, yeah. I believe, yeah, I remember you telling me about that, Marie. Science to me is without a doubt, can be bought and paid for. Now, I know a lot of people will jump up, and that's how they win arguments. Science says this. Science says that. Nope. One people that use that as a winning argument, science says this. They probably don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I have seen science. I've seen medicine change based off of monies. Without a doubt, I've seen sleep science change because of money. There is, for instance, there was a little thermistor. It's about 15 cents worth of two metals that more or less takes, measures electrons as you breathe in and out. Doesn't detect how hot or cold air is breathing. It just detects electrons coming in and out of your nose. The whole thing costs about 50 cents to make and hook up, and that's how you monitor breathing in and out. For the majority of it. There was a guy on a board that controlled what was gold standard. for sleep studies. And there was a pressure transducer technology that came out and did a fantastic big ass job. Loads better than the thermistor tracings of this little 50-cent piece of metal and wire and whatnot. But because this dude had stock in one of the companies that made those thermistors that had been around forever and a day, he kept that in the gold standard. And every freaking sleep study, I don't know if it's still present because I have not talked to anybody in the sleep lab business since 6+ years ago. You had to have a thermistor plus a pressure transducer, which picked up not flow, but the variations between pressure breathing out and pressure breathing in, and made it, But because this dude had pull, made it a gold standard to have that cheap ass, was good for doing sleep studies for a while, and then new technology came out. Then you have these plethysmograph belts, or RIP belts, respiratory impedance plethysmograph belts, that did a whole lot better job than, guess what, the PTAF, the pressure transducer flow sensors. Then this guy says, well, still on the board. Now he has, from what I understand, had not only stock in both the making of the PTAFs, one of them, there's many versions of them out there, but also the pressure transducers. And once these RIP belts, the respiratory impedance plethysmograph belts, comes out, say that 10 times fast. Respiratory impedance plethysmograph. 2 belts that more or less measures volume of chest and belly rise and fall. What the hell was that? That was either a shotgun shot or that wasn't no thunder. That was shotgun shot outside. I don't know if you heard that thump or a pop, but there you go. So anyway, now this guy owns stock in PTAFs, or pressure transducer technology, and the frickin' thermistor stuff. So not only do you have to have these RIP belts, the respiratory impedance plethysmographs, plus the, before that you had these crystal belts. More or less, you stretch crystals and produce a electronic thing. Hey, Shawn, look at you. I just talked about you just a minute ago. You may have thunder, but I actually lost some power there, Shauna. There you go. I was just talking about her earlier, and there she is. So, yeah, that woman right there, yeah, I have dreamt about her my entire life, and I finally met her. So there you go. Anyway, all being said, just because money, long story short, money makes out, makes science. So if it threatens money making and it's better technology, without a doubt, money's going to win over science, better science. So anyway, Shauna, I love you, by the way, just to let you know. And there you go. But yeah, that is the Shauna I was talking about earlier in the show. I dreamt about her for, how long was it ago? Everyone, that's it, working on a 48-hour, oh my God. See, I told you she was working ungodly hours. So anyway, I had dreamt about her my entire life, and we finally met after all that time. Like 20 years, yep. Well, it's been 20 years ago, but yeah, we've known about each other, but yeah, there you go. Mr. Wilson says, praying for the folks in your community post. Yeah. All right, so this is probably the end of my show. Maybe Transformers pop. Well, if it was, I'll have to go look. Could have been Transformers pop by JK. But I've heard Transformers pop before, and that sounds a whole hell of a lot louder than what I heard. It's probably a gunshot or a shotgun blast or something, which is not uncommon. Actually, in this town, there was about 3 days ago, Sue, that I was telling you about. There was something happening in town, and I heard a lot of rescue squads, and then all of a sudden, I heard pop, 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 pop. There was actually gunplay in my little bitty freaking town, and it popped up in. Could have been fireworks. No, couldn't have been fireworks because a storm just blew through. I wouldn't think it was fireworks. But it's not uncommon to hear gunfire. So. And it's weird. There was a dude that was in the news. I didn't know what the hell was going on, so. And I was talking to you about it in chat. And I was like, there's a whole lot of freaking rescue squads going on in my little old town. Ungodly amount of rescue squads. And I'm like, I can hear it. I can hear it. Yeah, Marie, yeah, I know Shauna. I've known Shauna for 20 years. I definitely know that lady. Without a doubt. Definitely know that lady without a doubt. So, there you go. Scientific fact changes all the time. Scientific fact. Fact is a misnomer. Scientific guess. The best guess. When I look at science, and I've read so many freaking things about science that has changed over the course of my 20 years being in the medical field. Wait a minute. Destiny says, what? Yeah, Shauna Burke. Yeah, she's Shauna. Without a doubt, she's Shauna. Hell, Sean, in 1 month there were 6 fatal shootings in Rome Mountain. You're shitting me, really? Not shootings as a whole, just fatal ones that's within the Rome Mountain area. Not all of the county. How many gun-related threats? All I can tell you is, without a doubt, there's been some gunplay in this, the region here in Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, Kentucky, you name it. But yeah, Shauna is definitely a real person. And I definitely know Shauna, without a doubt. Yeah. Holly says theory. Science, theory, science, best guess. And the best theory that's probably going that everybody enjoys, and I had trouble out of it earlier. Electricity. Flow of electrons and neutrons and the whole positive and negative charge. That is just a freaking theory. But it's a theory that has been proven that works. Do they know if it's electrons or whatever? Sure, to a certain degree, but it's still a theory. But yeah, Marie, there's Shauna, and I absolutely know that little lady for sure. Known her for 20 plus years. Dreamt about her for a hell of a lot longer. But finally met that lady. But HD Dizzle. Didn't doubt you a bit, Sean. Huh? Hey, if you doubt me, great. If you don't doubt me, great. I'm not here to say believe me or not, but I'm here to help people. I came back to help 8 people for my near-death experience. I argue you to come back to help 8 people. To look back on it from the perspective of me arguing with God to come back, I don't think I was quite arguing with God. I think I was arguing with myself to come back, to convince me that these 8 people were worth it to come back and help. So, there you go. Anyway, that being said, If you want to be a part of the prayer chain, if you want to reach out to me, or if you got somebody that, it doesn't have to be a part of the prayer chain. If you want to be, make it public, a lot more people that pray for you. The more people pray for you, the best outcomes, I think. AJK, swag, scientific, wild ass guess. Scientific. I like that swag. It's definitely science is definitely not foolproof. Donnie Show. What was it Donnie said? Hold on just a second. I'm gonna pull that back up. There's a bit of God inside of yourself and a bit of yourself inside of God. I can kind of agree with that, kind of not agree with it, but we are a part of God because God made us, and we're part of God just because He made us. And I know that's a monotheistic point of view, but everything flows from God. Everything that ever has been or will be or has not been has flowed from God. That being said, that's about it. But, reach out to me, ShawnG at IamDarkWaters.com. That 931-994-6917 if you want to be a part of that. And call me after the fact, just not in the middle of the night. And whoever the hell has been calling me, and I've blocked, and I'm going to keep blocking you. And, hot pockets galore. What the hell's up with these hot pockets, man? All I can tell you is, whatever. Hey, if that's what gets you off and you have to call me 10 times in a row, and I've already got you blocked for whatever reason, freaking thing. It's me. Yeah. You're calling me 10 times in a row in a minute. Yeah, I got you. But if that's what gets your little rocks off or whatever, go right ahead. I'll just look at you and like, man, you need to get a fucking life. Hey, whatever, But definitely follow IamDarkWaters.com over there. Go look at that. And there's several other websites, which I don't have in front of me, which Saturday night I'll probably go over. But here's another thing. There is a change up with Fridays. Southern Supernatural we'll probably do a name change on that. My dear friend Tina Bice has decided to leave the show for reasons, and that's about all I'm going to go down. But we're still friends. Actually talked to her earlier today. But she's decided to leave the show. And Godspeed to her, and God help her along with her family. But definitely pray for her. She just had hand surgery yesterday. But she decided to leave the show. Danielle Borzan and myself are still going to, do a show together. We've talked about it. Had talked to her. If you're still on the listening to me, Danielle, we need to. I don't know. Depends upon you. Southern Supernatural kind of sounds. Yeah, it made sense with two Southern people with Southern accents on there, but now I've got a lady on here that sounds more akin to Dracula, which she actually is kin to Dracula, without a doubt. And one Southern guy. Southern Supernatural doesn't sound so, plausible. I'll talk to her. There'll probably be a name change with that, but we'll keep probably the same format. But Tina Bice, or whatever, I'm not going to go down reasons or whatever, but Tina decided to leave the show. And God bless her, and God love her. And definitely, pray for Tina because she just had hand surgery. And there you go. I wish her well, for sure. No ill will whatsoever. And we're still friends, for sure. I'd show you the text messages, but that'd probably be a violation of privacy that I don't want to go down. But there you go. Mr. Wilson, effectual prayer of the righteous availeth much. Absolutely. And church is more than one person. Two or more gather in his name is a church. So, but, if you are of the ilk that likes to pray for other people, pay attention to my daily blog, which I usually go down and talk about what I have written about during the day. It hurts my here's the thing. People keep saying, "Hey, Shawn, you need to take a day off. You need to quit doing this for a day, or decompress," kind of deal. And I did take a day off at the request of many of my friends, saying, "Hey, you need to take a day off. This is, you got a whole lot of stress going on." And I said, "No, I got my promise to God to write this," and I knew from the perspective of, I got to write this for a reason. The reasons are, it's a promise to God. And it got to the point where I actually got sent a sign that I needed to take a day off, and that's what I did. Took a day off. I didn't do a thing, didn't write, didn't do anything. I talked to friends, but I didn't do anything on my social media or nothing. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, for the folks that were wondering, is Shawn still there? Shawn just showed up in the chat. Holy cow, Blues and G, their basement's probably been flooded due to rain. Hot Pocket. I don't wish any ill will toward any of the Hot Pockets. I just think they need to get a life. For whatever reason, I actually got a buddy of mine that he, in another lifetime, he was could probably be considered a Hot Pocket, but he's a good friend of mine. And he said, "Oh, I love the hell out of bugging people like that. But God willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll be back Friday with Danielle Borzan, trying to stay awake at work." Well, but Darlene, thank you for the tip on PayPal. And if, like I said before, I know a lot of people, as soon as they start saying, "Hey, why do you ask for money, or why do you call that? Why are they called Hot Pockets?" Actually, Hot Pockets was a term coined by Dark Waters himself for the trolls in the chat. And that was, you just got to know DW, James. And Hot Pockets was Hot Pockets. That's what he came up with and kind of stuck. And I was like, hell, that's a good thing. Hot Pockets is another term for trolls. Somebody bugs the living shit out of you. There you go. Hey, it's 11:11. Good Lord. 11:11 when I saw it. Good things coming, folks. I can tell you. But thank you, Darlene, for the tip there. And if you want to, I've got in the description how to tip me or whatever. If you think that you need to tip, you don't have to tip. It's free to like and share all day long. It just takes a half a second to do that. But let's go ahead and say a quick prayer, and I think I'm about done with this. And I think I'll do another perimeter prayer. 1:11 p.m. here. Hey, look at that. Isn't that crazy? On the other side of the world, in the down unders of 1:11 p.m. Lord Jesus Christ, in thy love and mercy, establish perimeter protection around my loved ones and myself and all the folks that are in the chat and watch this after the fact. And all our loved ones and those who pray for us and their loved ones, may the holy angels guard us and all our possessions, establishing a perimeter of protection around us, rendering us immune from any kind of demonic influence. I ask that no demonic bondage, door, demonic entity, portal, astral projection, or disembodied spirit may enter the space of 100 yards in all directions of us. I ask that any demons within the vicinity or any that should try to enter here be rendered deaf, dumb, and blind. That thou would strip them of all weapons, armor, power, illusions, and authority. That thou would bind, rebuke, and disable them from communicating or interacting with each other in any way. Remove them, sending them directly to the foot of thy cross, Jesus, Son of the Most High. I ask this in thy glorious and most holy name. Please send your angels of mercy and healing to those that are in need of prayer, in need of healing, those that are sick, body, mind, and spirit. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Holy cow. Thanks for sticking around for those 10 or 15 minutes that my power was out and my internet was out. But I'll go back and edit that out. So once you go back, if you want to re-listen to that, hopefully I won't have that in there, but we'll try. We'll get that going. But good night, y'all. Send me a or you can send me a text message at 931-994-6917. But or call me. Just not in the middle of the night, okay? You know, I've had some people call me about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, all right, well, you know, it just depends on the mood. If you call me at 3 a.m., I'm in Eastern Standard Time, folks, just to let you know. So if it's midnight over on the left coast and you call me at midnight, it's probably 3 a.m. Diane, appreciate you. But, yeah, quick survey. Would you want me to do another one of these dream? I think I should do a dream episode maybe once every month or two, something like that. So, I don't know. Put a 1 in chat if you'd like to see more dream episodes. 2, if I like the show, but no more dream episodes. 3, I don't give a shit about that dream episode. Let's go somewhere else. Do a quick one. Shell, I appreciate you there. 1. And Beacon says 111, 1111, 111111, ABC 11. All right. Well, by and large, looks like everybody's liking it. Cubs 14 parts 5, AJK. Son of a gun. Really? There you go. Can I email at 3 a.m.? Holly, you can email it. And time is no problem at whatever time you want to email me. Shawn G at I Am Dark Waters, that's open 24/7. But 111. Okay, well, there you go. If you are a content creator, drop your links in the chat real quick. So, folks, if you are listening on other platforms like my Twitter or over on Facebook or over to Chasing Truth Shawn G, follow that, like it, share it, you name it. Good night, everybody. God bless you all. Lakea Show, definitely follow her. She's got some good content over there. Dream is definitely cool. Like I told Donnie earlier and a few other friends that dreams are like a field that needs to be harvested every once in a while. And that definitely, I can't say dreams bug me on a daily basis, but I have dreams every freaking day, and very lucid dreams to a certain extent. Very vivid dreams. But there you go. Folks, I appreciate you. God bless you. And I think I'm out of here for the night. And see you Friday on Southern Supernatural. And we'll see what's going on. We may change that. Like I said, God bless Tina Bice, but she's decided to leave the show for reasons. But we're still friends, so don't let that crazy kind of talk get out there that stuff happened in the back of the thing. But yeah, we're still friends. But anyway, it looks like everybody wants to do another dream episode. I don't know. We'll see. But I love talking about dreams. That was one of the reasons I started doing Sleep Lab. So God bless y'all. We'll see you Friday.